Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Today, we're taking a look at the 17th installment of what I like to call Fat Shaming Fridays, where we take a look at various responses to this.
Tell me the wildest way you have ever been fat shamed.
As usual, if I laugh at any of these stories, I'm not laughing at the fact that somebody was bullied or fat shamed. I'm just laughing at the ridiculousness of the situation. We've got 4 different fat shaming stories to take a look at today. What are your predictions? Fat shamed at the airport? Fat shamed at the beach? Fat shamed in Dubai? In order to help me wash away the shame, I must first apply comb to mustache.
Tell me the wildest way you have ever been fat shamed.
I've actually got 2, both exercise related.
They're both exercise related. Okay.
Because fat girls can't exercise.
Okay, you don't have to start becoming possessed on us. I understand that you're upset, but, having your eyes roll back in your head as you become possessed by a demon, I think is not really necessary.
First one was my very first half marathon. Somewhere in mile 2, I was passed by 2 college-age guys.
Are you about to get insulted during a marathon, dude? You can't do that.
One of them kind of snickered, "Hey look, it's a fat girl running." I didn't take offense, just kept on my merry way.
Right.
But in mile 8, I passed them.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. I can tell by the smirk on your face. I love when people lie to me and they think that I'm believing their lie. Isn't that the best? And then I uppercut that guy, dude, and I took the bag of money and I ran right out the door. And then the cops were trying to chase me and I beat them all up. I beat them all up, dude. And there was this helicopter that came. I jumped off of this bridge and grabbed this rope that was hanging down from the helicopter and started swinging between the buildings as we go through the city. Yeah, this clearly happened. And then I do a pirouette off the rope and I bust through this window and land in somebody's hot tub in their living room. Yeah, see, this is why I don't listen to you. You're clearly full of crap 100% of the time.
And the guy who had insulted me before was like, "Dude, we're being passed by the fat chick."
He sure did. Dude, our fat phobia has betrayed us, bro. She's living in a larger body. And then she totally passed us, bro. Wow. Dude, shut up.
I have to admit I didn't take offense because I was kind of glad he called me a chick and not an old lady.
That's a win.
Second one, my husband was actually working with another guy and I was riding my bike while training for a triathlon in that parking lot. And the other guy who didn't recognize me was like, "Hey, look, it's a fat chick on a bike."
And then your husband beat him up. And then the mayor came and gave him the key to the city. And then they started having a dance party with Mayor McCheese.
Same accent. But before he could start heckling me, my husband goes, "That's my wife and she looks fantastic."
Is that what he told you he said? Yeah, honey, and then I told him, "That's my wife, and she looks fantastic, and don't make me kick your ass." In real life, he's like, "Yeah, dude, to heck with that fat bitch." And then they take out a picture of you, and they both start spitting on it. Peh, peh, peh. I'm dumb, I'm sorry. I love how none of this happened. That's my favorite part.
The guy apparently apologized profusely, not to me, but to my husband.
Yup, I'm sure he did. Dude, none of this happened. Stop making up stories. If you're gonna make up a story, make it believable. Don't have these expressions on your face where you're like, "And then they learned their lesson, I'll tell you what." Dude, no, that tells me right there that the whole story is a fabrication. You fabricated the entire story and you want to be the hero and you're like, "Well, I showed them. And then they looked at me and they said, 'I'm sorry, ma'am, I didn't realize it was you.'" Dude, shut up. Stop telling stories. I love how much of a liar everybody is. And they think that we're all dumb enough to believe it. That's the best part. Next.
Tell me the wildest way you have ever been fat shamed.
Back in the day, when step aerobics were all the rage, I used to take a class at the big name gym in my town.
Oh, I remember when step aerobics were all the rage, dude. The summer of '98. Oh, no, I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. Are you telling me that step aerobics are not currently all the rage? Oh, jeez.
Right? And I would go to class about 5 days a week. So we had a new instructor, and I'm in the back of the class because I'm already embarrassed to be there in the first place, being that I'm a fat girl. But I've been doing
Yeah, there's nothing more embarrassing than being overweight and then going to a place to try to help you lose weight. What a loser. You're trying to better your life?
this for a couple of years. So no worries. And so I get my steps set up and everything, and we start into the class, and then the instructor points back at me in the back corner and says to the whole class, hey, if anybody needs to take a break or go get a drink of water because they're having a hard time, you can go ahead and do that.
That's weird. Were they looking at you the whole time they were talking about how you guys could take a break? They're like, yeah, if any of you back there happen to need a break, any of you people in this general vicinity, anybody right there that is living in a larger body, you might need a break. So if you need to, go ahead. Why do you keep looking at me? Why you keep looking at me and acting like I need a break? I don't need a break just because I'm living in a larger body. Bro, I haven't slept in years.
Or points back at me and says, don't forget to stop if you're having a hard time breathing.
Quit singling me out, bro. I can breathe and I don't need a break.
You can go ahead and stop. Or if you need to take your step down one step, you can go ahead and take your step down a step just to make it a little easier for you if you need to do that, pointing back at me.
Dude, stop singling me out.
And then she would, when we were in full swing of the class, she would say, okay, you guys, let's ramp this up so we can burn off those Oreos that we had last night. Come on, everybody, let's step really, really hard so that we can work off all that ice cream that we had last night.
Okay.
Pointing direct at me. Every time she would say that, the entire class would turn around and look at me.
Dude, stop. This story's getting less and less believable as it goes on. I was believing you up until this point, but the entire class stops and turns and looks at you every time she makes one of these references to taking a break. It might have been a believable story until the part where everybody keeps on turning and looking at you. Every time she mentions that you can take a break, she's like, by the way, you could take a break. The whole class turns simultaneously, mind you, and turns and looks at you at the same time. I think she's talking about the larger girl. She can take a break. She's bigger, so she'll probably need breaks. Let's all turn and look at her again. Susan, we know that you need a break. Go ahead and take it. Tell me when I need a freaking break. I'll tell you when I need a freaking break. I needed a break before I even got here, okay?
So when the class is over, I go to the drinking fountain, I'm filling up my water bottle, and she's like, bebop's over. Hey, I'm Cindy Lou Who. I'm the new instructor. Welcome to the class. Is this your first time?
Cindy Lou Who? You should have said, yeah, it's my first time. And by the way, Cindy, that's a really nice looking water bottle that you got. Can I check it out? And then she's like, yeah, here you go. And she goes to hand it to you. You're like, oh, yeah, that's real. Ah! You just smash her in the face with it. You're like, listen, Cindy, there's going to be some changes around here. I don't really like the tone that you're using to address me. I didn't like the way you kept looking in my general direction when you were talking about how people might need breaks. Okay, what is that supposed to mean, Susan? And then as she gets up off the ground and wipes the blood off of her face, she might be a little confused. So...
No. Remember, this was your first time, not my first time. I've been coming to this class for about 2 years. I said, but thank you so much for pointing out to the entire class that if they don't continue to work out hard, they might wind up looking like me.
What? I don't remember that part. What? She talked about working off the Oreos that we ate last night and stuff. I don't recall the part where she said, by the way, if you guys don't work out, you're going to look like this lady. What? Are we ad-libbing stuff onto the story?
I really appreciate you pointing out to the entire class that I'm the only fat girl in your class.
I don't recall that part either. And then you're like, and I really don't appreciate the part where we had to fight each other in gladiator-style combat. That part really sucked. And she's like, what?
She's like, I didn't do that.
Yeah, I don't remember that part of the story either.
I said, but you did. Every time you made reference to some junk food, you would point at me. Every time you made reference to taking a break or taking it down a level, you would point back at me.
That'd be hilarious if she never pointed at you once. but you thought that she was pointing at you. Like, you're so concerned that somebody might be pointing at you in reference to these things that you literally see it when it's not there. That subtle little movement of her arm you're perceiving as her pointing, but it wasn't.
Making the entire class turn around and look at the only fat girl.
Dude, I swear this never happened. The instructor's like, so we're all here to lose weight and get in good shape, right? And then everybody's like, yeah, we are. And then they just turn and look at you. That's why. Don't want to be like that. I swear you should have taken the instructor over to the water fountain and be like, hey, whatever the hell you said your name was, Lululemon, whatever, why don't you go ahead and get down in there and get a drink? And then she goes to reach her head, and you take her head and just, you smash it down in the water fountain. You try to drown her in the water fountain. You're holding her head down in there. She's flailing her arms like, ah! She's like, you can't drown me. It's a water fountain, stupid. What are you doing? And you're like, shut the hell up. Drown Lululemon.
In the class. So I'll be finding another class to go to because I really don't appreciate what you...
Do you need a class to step up on a box, bro? Like, I was just thinking in my mind right now of what step aerobics is, and I don't know if we need to be led by an instructor for this. Maybe the first time, okay, you know, but I think after that I could probably pick it up on my own. All right, so let's see. We step up onto the box, and then we step off the box, and then we repeat. We do it again. On, off, right? Am I missing anything?
Did to me. I have been coming here for 2 years, and I've been working out faithfully for 2 years. I am a healthy, overweight person who doesn't...
You can't be healthy if you're overweight. It is good that you exercise and all this stuff, but if you're overweight, that's a sign of ill health.
Not need to be made example of. So I wish you luck in your new job. Hopefully it'll last for you. I'm going to find another class. Thank you.
Okay, if that really happened, that would have been pretty messed up, but luckily, it definitely did not. Next!
Tell me the wildest way you have ever been fat shamed.
So my sisters and I...
Oh man, look at her god-awful eyeliner. Jeez. No, I'm just kidding. We've got another person just filming the top half of their head. I saw somebody doing this in a What I Eat in a Day video recently, and it didn't dawn on me until the end that I think they were trying to like hide their body or something, because I was like, why would you film yourself from such an unflattering angle, but they like don't even want you to see their shoulders or something?
Are a lot younger than all of our cousins. So my cousin's wife used to babysit us.
Okay, so your cousin's wife used to babysit the top half of your face, okay?
Sometimes when we were younger. And at their house...
Dude, I can't even see your mouth. What a bizarre way to film, bro. I'm pretty sure what I said is true. Like, people that are living in a larger body, whatever, are often just filming their head from here up or from, like, here up. Like, they don't want you to see their shoulders and the rest of their body, I guess. But it's just, it's terrible because you're filming from an awful angle. You have to be, like, from this down-up angle, and that's the worst angle, man. I'm all neck from that angle.
Also, it was my cousin, his wife, and her brother. I really don't remember any of their ages right now, but if I had to guess, they're in their mid-20s, maybe late 20s at the time.
No, it's fine. I'm not going to remember everybody's age in the story as you go anyway, so.
So, we go over there to be babysat, and my cousin's wife is telling us how she made a cake without...
We go over there to be babysat? I'm sorry, man. That's just hilarious. We went over there to be babysat. Okay. So you went and you got babysat. All right. And then what'd you do?
Applesauce in it. And I remember thinking that that sounded really good. And I knew I wanted to try some while I was there that day. So later on, I'm sitting on the couch and next to me is her brother. And he's eating a piece of the cake. And my cousin's at work and his wife, I think, is in the bathroom. I don't remember. All I know is he was the only adult present, so I was talking about how I wanted some of the cake, and I was starting to ask for it. And he kept, like, firing back, asking me, like, why I wanted the cake so bad and why I needed to eat the cake. And then he eventually says, don't you ever sit and think that maybe you eat too much?
I actually believe this story. This sounds like one of those messed up things that would happen. That's messed up. You shouldn't talk to a kid like they're an adult. If a kid is overweight, they don't know what's going on, okay? Their parents let them eat that way to get to that size. Their parents allowed them to become addicted to these highly processed foods and sugary snacks and stuff. It's not really their fault. They're just a kid. But I believe this story because this story has that ring to it of like when an adult says something mean to you and it sticks with you for the rest of your life. Like one time when I was a kid, I was hanging out with my sister and her boyfriend. I was 12. They were both like 17 or 18. My sister goes into the store. I'm talking to her boyfriend. At some point in the conversation, he turns around and looks at me and says, "You're stupid and you talk too much." I still remember that to this day. It always stuck with me. Not because I thought like, wow, I am stupid and I talk too much. Because I thought, wow, Josh is a piece of garbage, dude. Like, dude, stop being with that guy. She broke up with him many, many years ago. That dude was an absolute piece of human garbage in many ways. So, Josh, if you ever see this, screw you, buddy.
Like, excuse you, like, I'm a child, and
Yeah, dude, that's completely out of line to say to a kid.
you're a grown-ass adult. Why do you feel the need to talk to me that way? First
Yeah, I believe this story.
off, and it's not okay to fat shame anyone, but especially to do it to a child. Like, I was a very chubby child. I am
Well, he shouldn't have tried to get into your head like, why do you feel the need to eat this? Like, you're just a kid.
a chubby adult, and I am okay with that. You know, that's fine. But to fat shame a child, like I was very insecure about the way I looked in my body for a very, very long time. And I feel like him saying that to me when I was so young has a great deal to do with it. Like, think before you talk to kids, because that shit sticks with them for the rest of their life.
Okay, I believe her, and I'm going to have to agree with her. Don't say horrible things to kids because it will stick with them for the rest of their life. The way that he was questioning you, like, why do you think you should be eating that? Like, I don't know, it just seemed out of line. Like, we can't do a deep dive on the rationale of a 12-year-old. You're still in theta brainwaves just bobbling around like some sort of automaton at that stage. You're not even a human being yet. Next.
Tell me the wildest way you have ever been fat shamed. I'll go first.
So this is a long one, bear with me, and I'll try not to cry when I tell you this. So when I was in 5th grade, I was doing a relay race. My best friend, was up against me in this race. She was very tiny. She never won any races, and I decided that I was just going to, budget and let her win it.
Okay, so you're going to let your skinny friend win the relay race because they never win anything. You, a larger person, you're faster than somebody that's smaller than you, and you're going to let them win. Okay, this is an interesting universe that I've stumbled into. Which Marvel Cinematic Universe are we in now?
So she would be happy for once.
Uh-huh. Dude, okay. Let's just go ahead and call this story nonsense right from the top. You can tell right in the beginning when the story is going to be utter bollocks, my gal.
And I didn't care if people were going to make fun of me because I was fat, whatever.
Okay, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but obesity actually slows you down. Yeah, I know, it sounds crazy, but yeah, so I don't know what the story is.
I was going to lose anyway. That's what everybody was saying anyway. So I slowed down and I actually tripped. I fell into a hole and I broke my ankle. The PE teacher came over and said, well, this is what happens when you're fat.
Oh, man. In your mind, you're like, I'm going to do something charitable for Emily over there. I'm going to throw the race so she can win. And then you go out there and you start running and you trip in a hole and break your ankle and then get fat shamed by the coach. You're like, this isn't going the way that I intended at all. I was supposed to be the hero. They were supposed to clap at me. Clap at me like this.
You're clumsy and things like this are going to happen. You need to get up, you need to walk it off, and we're going inside. And
Okay, that's a little harsh. We're getting a little bit of tough love from the coach over there. Okay.
I was like, I think that my ankle was broken, and she told me to shut up, that I was a crybaby.
You're like, ma'am, the bone is protruding through the skin. And she's like, listen, I've had enough crying out of you, okay? You fat kids are always complaining.
And it was just because I was fat is why I fell, and I wasn't gonna get any sympathy from her because I was obese, and that was a problem. Mind you, she was definitely a plus size woman.
What? What? Dude. What? Okay, now I'm starting to believe it again. All the twists and turns of this. I don't know what to believe, man. You're confusing me so much.
Mean as hell.
Dude. Dude.
So the whole class goes inside, and a couple of people are trying to stay with me and help me up, and they're like, no, she's really hurt. We think she's really hurt.
An hour later, you're still laying there, and the coach is like, dude, I told you to get up, quit playing games. And you're like, but my ankle's broken. She's like, dude, stop playing games.
And she goes, too bad, that's what she gets for being so big.
And then they just left you there. You're like, I laid there with my legs stuck in that hole for several weeks. They had to bring me food. They had to come erect a tent around me.
Makes them go inside, leaves me outside.
What? It's basically what I just said. What the heck?
Mind you, it is summertime, right at summertime. I had to crawl through grass, gravel, stickers.
What? You had to crawl on your hands and knees with a broken ankle for several miles through broken glass just to get to the hospital?
Thorns. Then I had to crawl across the hot pavement into the building.
Did you miss the broken glass pit, or?
When I got to the back door was locked. She locked it. So I had to...
Dude, this just keeps getting worse. What? You're like, what the hell? So then I had to keep crawling. I crawled out to the parking lot. The car was locked. So I had to keep crawling. I crawled over to the mall. The mall was locked. I had to crawl 10 more miles down the road to the freaking mechanic's office. It was locked. I had to, like, dude, when does this end?
Crawl back around to the back of the cafeteria.
Dude, okay, now I'm starting to not believe the story again. There's way too much crawling with a broken ankle going on here, dude. In this story, you've literally gone like 3 miles on your hands and knees with a broken ankle. What?
And the maintenance man saw me and was like, oh my God.
And then he came over and fat shamed me. He told me to lose weight, and he threw a Slim Fast drink on me.
And I'm like, she left me outside. Then they wouldn't call my parents because they wanted to talk to the teacher first. So I sat there with a broken leg or a broken ankle for almost 2 hours before they were still arguing about calling my parents. So...
Yes. Well, you know, that's standard protocol. Usually when a kid breaks their ankle, we let them crawl around on their hands and knees for a couple of hours, you know. We let them crawl through the stickers, through the rocks, through the pebbles, through the broken glass. You got to make them strong, you know.
Rolled out of the office while they were arguing in the office to the library.
What? 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 So the faculty were in the office arguing and stuff. While they're in the middle of arguing, you're like, dude, nuts to this. And you crawl out and continue crawling through broken glass over to the library, and you get yourself a latte. And you start reading some Don Quixote. What?
And I asked the librarian to call my mom because I'd been sitting in there for over 2 hours.
Dude, out of all the things that have never happened, this one never happened the most.
With a broken ankle. So she called my mom. My mom was furious.
Then my mom came down and started fat shaming me.
The PE teacher said to my mother, your daughter is obese.
Dude, what the heck? My daughter broke her ankle and is literally dragging herself around the freaking campus through broken glass and stuff, and you won't even help her? Your daughter is obese, madam. Obese. That's all good and well, but the amount of negligence that I have personally witnessed coming from you and your faculty? Obese! Did you not hear me, madam? Obese she is!
She fell and broke her ankle because she's fat. You need to put her on a diet. That's what I would do if she was my daughter. I would be ashamed if she was my daughter. Fast forward, her daughter was also obese like me.
Okay, so this PE teacher is a plus-size woman herself, and she's got a daughter who's also obese. So did you go and break the daughter's ankle to get revenge? Maybe. Maybe you invite her daughter out to go jogging, and then when you guys are out jogging, you push her into a ditch and break her ankle, and then you leave her there for dead. Just an idea. What? Is that too far? Man, I'm always going too far. I never know when to reel it in. And then you leave her daughter for dead, huh? Eh? Oh, too far? Damn it. Clearly that story didn't happen, luckily, because that would be freaking ridiculous. You're just crawling around the campus for several hours with a broken ankle, going to different places. You're like, then I stopped by the library, you know, and then I had some math homework to turn in, so I crawled my crippled body over to the math department and dropped off my paper, whatever. Dude, if you have watched several of my videos so far but you have not subscribed yet, please consider subscribing today. Anyway, that about does it. Thanks for watching, commenting, liking, and subscribing. And I'll see you in the next one.